Welcome. I'm Alice Alicia Jones, and this is another one of my Living Consciously videos. I apologize for being 10 minutes late. I was downstairs wrapping Course in Miracles calendars and had my phone set to alert me to a time that would give me plenty of time to get up here, and it never alerted me. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with my phone, but anyway, getting a lot of work done on it, and I have promised myself that the next time it breaks down for any reason whatsoever, it's going to be replaced. It's been my faithful companion for 4 to 5 years. Time for a change. And today, the subject matter is seeing what you think you see. All of us basically are working with two minds. We're working with our spirit mind and we're working with our ego mind. Everything from the ego is perception, everything from spirit is knowledge. Huge difference in both of these. So I'm just going to cover the perception part of it today. And then I think maybe next week, I know it's Christmas Day. And since we are not having family, I probably can do this video on Christmas Day also. But for right now, I'm just happy to be here for for today's subject. The first thing I wanted to share with you is that when you look at everything that is outside of you, you are going to look at it through your filters. And your filters depend upon what lessons you came here to learn. For example, if one of your lessons felt like this world is a scary place, you may have chosen to incarnate in a place where there are earthquakes or tremors all the time. Take California. So you may have chosen to incarnate in San Francisco or up and down the San Andreas Fault. And so tremors just became a daily way of life. I know people in California, when we had uh, the only earthquake I've ever experienced in my life, which was about 70 miles, the epicenter was about 70 miles away from here. The friends I had from California, they said, "Oh my God, that was nothing." We experience that daily. And so effectively, um, those people that are currently in California, not only are they subjected to that, the experience of tremors and earthquakes on a daily or weekly basis. But now they are also subjected to a huge amount of wildfires. And those wildfires are running rampant. There was a very brief interlude and from this summer, and now apparently they're starting up again. So if your lesson was to learn that, geez, there is safety and security in this world, but you're not there yet, you may be an occupant of California or an occupant where there are tremendous earth changes undergoing right now, wherever that is on the planet. So you will have to just stay there until you change your mind about that experience and then decide that no, I am going to look upon my life differently. I'm going to look upon the earth differently. And I'm not going to see the earth as the scary place that I thought it was. If you came here with the idea of a poverty mentality, then it will not matter how much money you earn, how much is in your savings account, Who contributes to your coffers, whether you get an inheritance or two or four, nothing is going to matter. You are always going to feel poor. And you're going to set up circumstances in your life to validate that poverty. You'll take a job that drains you, demands so much of you, but yet doesn't pay you enough. Or even worse, you'll take a job where you're promised to pay. You are given a promise, but that promise never comes true. They somehow or other they find a way to wiggle out of uh, paying you, and so you end up working for 3, 4, or 5 months and realize that, oh my God, I am not seeing a paycheck for all my effort. Or you will find that no matter what, they demand more of you. They place, even if you're working where you're paid hourly, they place demands on you and they find a way to get more hours out of you. And do you necessarily want to work 12 to 18 hours a day? I don't think so. So, effectively, that's poverty mentality. If you had a low self worth, if you had a feeling of low self worth, and you came here to learn about that and how to effectively eliminate that, then you're going to discover that your relationships all give you something that is not satisfying. You're going to attract narcissists into your life. You're going to attract people in your life who do not honor you, who do not honor your boundaries, who do not allow you to set boundaries, or at least that's the way you're interpreting it. So you really have to recognize eventually that I am creating this. I am bringing this into my sphere. This is my creation. And you're going to have to see, what is it in me that is unhealed so that I can change and attract the type of relationships that I want to have in my life, the type of relationships that are whole and healthy for me. So please just know that you can create, or you do create, everything that appears in your life. I have a personal example that was really quite revealing to me. I had a way of going through life with blinders on, with almost like a thoroughbred horse that, kind of kept his focus only on the race he was running. And in my case, I would tend, once I decided something, I would tend not to see any other possibility. And so, effectively, how this showed up for me so clearly one day was when I went to my very first acupuncture, Dr. Shao in McLean. And those are the days, I think this was the either late 70s, early 80s. Those were the days where acupuncture was still looked upon as a kind of a quack um, procedure. And so when you went up to his door, you could not see Dr. Shell. You would see wellness clinic. And so it was really tragic, but I soon learned the benefit of acupuncture. And Dr. Shao had um, a technique where I would be sitting up and he would place the needles in my back. And as I was sitting up, and then he would lead me to a room. interestingly enough, the room always had two beds in it. The second bed was always empty. I mean, that never, I mean, I'm talking about years. That never varied. So, and at the end of my resting period, which was usually 20, 25 minutes, he would then come in, remove the needles, talk to me, do whatever else he was doing. And this time he walks in and I expect him to walk towards me. Instead, he walks to the other bed that I thought was empty, but it wasn't. As he walked to the other bed and leaned over and started to work, I saw a woman laying there, bright red sweater, blue jeans. And I looked at that and I thought, oh my God, because I had expected that room to be empty, it was empty. I did not see that body there. I know there's a very common story about the first time natives saw a galleon, and sometimes it's around the tip of South America, sometimes it's around the tip of Africa. But the story is basically that the that as the men rowed in a boat to the shore and met the natives, the shaman was able to communicate to the captain, how did you get here? Because they knew that they couldn't possibly have crossed the ocean with in these small boats. And the captain was able to describe this enormous galleon, this enormous ship. And after the shaman was able to visualize it, after it came into form for the shaman, then he could describe it to his fellow natives, and they could then begin to see it. But because they had no reference point for what a galleon looked like, they were not able to have any conception of a ship called like as big as a galleon. They had never seen anything like that. And I would like to um, end this with just one more example, and that is from Harvard. They did a study with kittens, and these kittens were born and raised in a world that was black and white stripes, but the stripes were horizontal. And the horizontal lines would end and there would be a passageway. And so these kittens got oriented to nothing but a horizontal uh, shapes in their world. Then they reversed the stripes, they made them vertical. And in the process of making them vertical, the kittens constantly thinking that they were going into a passageway would bump into walls because they had, in their world, they were still seeing the black stripes that were there in their horizontal pattern, not in the way that they had changed them. And I can remember at the same time I witnessed this example, I can remember looking at another example of babies being set on a platform that was clear, but they would be sitting on the edge of an abyss because beneath the glass or plexiglass or whatever it was that was covering this abyss, they had placed, I mean, the what they were covering was a depth of maybe 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, and they would sit the babies on the edge, and the mother would be, and the baby would have to traverse at across this abyss and crawl to the mom. The mom would be sitting on the edge of the table, on the opposite edge, calling to the baby. Most of them sat there crying. They recognized depth perception. So even brand new little babies that were able to sit, so they obviously must have been at least what, 3, 4 months, maybe 6 months old, already had the ability to recognize depth. And they were very, very, um, uh, they reacted very frightened. And along with the same experiment, they, I guess, the psychologists who were um, taking and doing this experiment tried one more thing. They put a baby snake in the top of the plexiglass, and they just wanted to see what the infant would do. 50% of them cried. They saw that reptile and they cried. So that also showed me that the fear of snakes is pretty inherent in our characteristic, in our being. So it's not, that unusual for you to have a fear of that. And I do want to just share one more thing. I know it's available on streaming, but there is a movie there, and I know it came out in the 90s, could have been 94, 96, 98, 99. I just saw a portion of it, but it's called Being John Malkovich. And if you've never seen it before, even if you've seen it once, I recommend that you stream it because it is the best movie that attempted to present to you the nature of reality. And I can remember there's one time that the character, John Malkovich, the actual actor, wants to go into a portal into himself. And because this is, quasi science fiction or scientific, um, he's able to do that. And when he exits that portal, and what he sees is a group of very lovely dressed people, women with ball gowns on and everything, and men. And every single head is himself. Not only is everything himself, but every word coming out of every actor's mouth is John Malkovich. Every word printed on the restaurant menu because they're all giving their orders to a waiter is John Malkovich. So this illustrated to me how every single thing that you see out there is a version of you. So I do, like I said, I do recommend that you rent this movie, stream it, and I think you'll get a very, very interesting conception of what it means to be a human in this 3D reality and how it is that we actually function in this 3D reality. That's the whole purpose of my lectures is just to bring you not a lot of esoteric materials, but at least one main idea every single time so that you can effectively just be uh, expand your consciousness and expand where it is that your the paradigm that has kind of like settled around your thinking and expand your belief system. That's my goal. And since we are so close to Christmas, I do recommend, if you haven't already purchased a gift for somebody or a gift for yourself, Own Your Power Day by Day, available through my website, alicealiciajones.com, available through Amazon. I do wish you a blessed Christmas, a safe Christmas, a healthy Christmas, and I will probably see you on Christmas Day. If it's not Christmas Day, if for some reason I can't see any reason why I can't do this on Christmas Day, it will be the following day. But my intent is to be here on the 25th, which is exactly next Friday. I thank you for watching, and I am thrilled that you were here. I will look at your comments and answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you again, and we will talk to you in a week.